Can you hear me? Okay. Okay, so you should be able to hear me now. Sorry about that. So this is the home screen of the college football. I'm going to show you what the dynasty mode looks like. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to start a new dynasty. Because we're going to be playing online with everybody, we have to do a cloud multi-user. If you ever want to do one where it's just you by yourself offline, you could do a single player, but for this reason, we have to do a cloud multi-user. We will use active rosters. And then it will import the rosters. It takes a minute to go through and import all the players. Unlike Madden, we don't have to lower down the ratings because every 4 years there's a fresh new group of kids coming in. And even a 5-star recruit, typically you only see will be like a 79, 78 overall. So it's not like we're going to have teams just full of 99s. It's just very, very unrealistic. You might have a couple 90s on your team. If you're like kind of the big dogs like Georgia or Bama, you may have a few more, but it's not going to be anything that's like overwhelming. Okay, so since I'll be the commissioner, this is what I'll kind of see at the beginning. First thing I'll go through is I'll set up the settings of the league. I'll set it on Heisman. Coach firing will be on. So if you don't meet the requirements of your contract, you could possibly be fired. That is an option. Okay, that is something that they could do. Coach XP, I set this on the slowest because we don't want to be able to get our coaches too high of a level too quickly, because then recruiting and all these things just become super, super easy. And we found that the slowest really does slow the game down for the coaches, and we're not going to get offered jobs like Ohio State or Alabama or Georgia anytime soon. Like, it's going to take years and years and years. I mean, even the games that we've done so far, we've gone to year 4 and we've won a national championship with some of our teams, and we're still not getting offered from the big schools because our coach XP isn't very high. Player edit will only be allowed to the commissioner. Injuries will be on. Wear and tear will be on. Unfortunately, in this game, there is an injury issue where players may get hurt during the game, but there is no like long-lasting injuries. So just keep that aware. If that becomes an issue where people aren't happy about that, I could just turn injuries off completely, and we won't have to worry about that. But wear and tear does take an effect. If you get hit hard in a game, your quarterback's going to feel it, and maybe his deep throw accuracy goes down a little bit, or your running back gets laid out, so his speed drops by 2 points. Just overall wear and tear on your player as the game goes on. Play cooldown and play call limit, that's more if we're playing the game. We don't have to worry about that. Quarter length, I like to set the quarters to 12 minutes. But what I do is I set the accelerated clock on and leave it with about 15 seconds. So that way it simulates that they're in a huddle and they're breaking the huddle and they're coming to the line and there's 15 seconds left on the play clock. It's more realistic to me. It speeds the game up because in real life, if they run the ball and the clock's ticking, they're going to huddle up. They're going to kill about 20 seconds in the huddle before they come down and line up. Season experience is full control. League advancement is manual. Auto recruiting is off. We're all going to do our own recruiting. Coach progression, we're all going to do it ourselves. For this right now, it's private. I could set it up to where I'll have a league name, I'll have a password that you can join, and these are more. These are for if you're playing the game. So that's pretty much the basic settings. Right here, we have an option to where, if we decided to, we could create custom conferences or move teams to where we want them. Like if we wanted to rebuild the Big 12 to where it was UT, A&M, Oklahoma, we could do that. If we wanted to bring back the Pac-12, because this is the Pac-12 now. No one's in it, okay? This is real life. So we could rebuild it and put USC, UCLA, Oregon, Washington, all the big dogs could come back, Stanford. Put the SEC how it was. We could even put the Big Ten to how it was. ACC, we could just build those programs back up so we really do have a Power 5 again. But that's something we could talk about later down the road. Import team builder, that's if you create a team, you want to put them in here. That's nothing, we're not going to do that. So I click advance. So this is where you select your team. When you first join the league, it's going to ask you to select your team. I think I said that we won't take anything less than, we won't take anything more than a 3-star, I think 2-star, something like that. So you just change it. You can change it to 0 stars. You can change it to 1 star. You can change it to 2-star, whatever you're looking. And these are the teams you get to pick from, so whoever falls in that category, you can see their overall, the offense and the defense. Don't worry about the scheme they run because you're going to change that with your coach. So whatever coach you have, you're going to change that. Okay. So, for the sake of this, I'll just use, the Texas. No, I won't use Texas State. They're pretty good. I'll use UTEP, the Miners. Okay. 74 overall, pretty middle of the pack when it comes to like 1-star teams. Should be a rough season. But we'll see what happens. So now you get to pick offensive coordinator, defense coordinator, head coach. I think everybody should just be a head coach, because really we're watching the game, so it's not like we're play calling. So head coach only for right now. We're going to create a new coach. Okay, you have 3 options. You have a motivator, which gets your players to play their best by boosting their ratings and composure. Nobody has it better than us. Okay, then you have a recruiter. Jimmy's and Joe's, not X's and O's. You scout faster and recruit better than any other type of coach. And then you have a tactician. Boost your players' ratings on game day, scheme up the big plays, and let the vision fly. So it's really up to what you do. I've only used a recruiter. I can link videos to kind of go into more detail on what these do, but I'll show you here in a little bit also when I pull up the coach breakdown. So let's say we're a recruiter. It always starts off with the same basic names. So right here, you'll pick your playbook. It has every college's playbook. So, and it tells you it's an air raid, it's a veer and shoot, it's a pro style. But just because it's the same air raid doesn't mean they have the same plays. They are very different, okay? Some air raids have certain formations, some don't. So don't think that they're all the same. That would be pretty stupid because they're not. So you'll just find something that you want to watch, that you prefer to watch. Even like Navy, they run the triple option. So if you want to watch your team run the triple option all game, hey, more power to you, dude. It's a pain in the ass to watch. It's kind of boring, but you may like that. So let's just say we take Michigan State's pro style, and then defense, we pick multiple defense. Alma mater really doesn't matter. I haven't seen where this matters yet. This may be something where down the line, as you get better as a coach, they may come out to you and offer you a job as you get better. Pipeline. I really don't have a rule on pipeline yet, because really you could just set the pipeline to wherever you want. I like to just keep it on the school I'm at. So like if I'm UTEP, I'm probably going to try to lean more toward East Texas or North Texas. But since I know there's like a lot of good players in Dallas area, I'm probably going to try to go with my pipeline more North Texas. Um, Adaptive AI, you don't need to worry about that. We're going to leave that balanced. No huddle. Do you want your team to be aggressive where they come out in the no huddle all the time? Like where they're fucking constantly pushing the ball and where the defense can't sub out or, change the formation they're in? Or are you going to be a little more conservative? You don't want to run no huddle. You want to just stick to like, hey, I want to get my guys in. I want to run my plays. I want to be slower with the ball. Okay? Whatever you want. Offensive aggressiveness. How aggressive do you want to be? Do you want to be taking shots down the field? Do you want to be looking for the big play? Same thing with defense. How do you feel about that? Do you want to be blitzing a lot? Whatever your preference is. And this is something we'll play with because none of us have sat here and watched the games yet. So no one really knows how much of a difference this makes. This was something we'd all be learning as we go. Appearance. You can change the way your coach looks. I mean, it really doesn't matter, dude. Just grab somebody's head, put them on there. Cool. You can pick your physique. Tell them what you want. Okay, no big deal. And then apparel, you get 2 shirts. Do you want the polo or do you want the sweater? Doesn't matter. Okay, and that's your coach. Okay. So the first thing that's going to pop up after you create your coach, you create your pro style or your offensive scheme, defensive scheme, you get a contract. Okay, it's going to show you the contract, and it's going to show you what they've done in the previous seasons. Okay, if you look over to the right, it says, "Congratulations, coach. We're excited to offer you this position of head coach at UTEP. Our goal for you is to win 4 games." So I know if my team wins 4 games, my job is essentially probably safe. Now, if I come out and I only win 1, I might be on the bubble. I don't know. Like I said, I've never been fired. I've never watched the game. So I don't know how much that goal will play into effect. I really don't know. But I'm going to sign the contract. All you do is press X, put your name down at the bottom, and you start the dynasty. So, once you start the dynasty, the first week is where we set up custom schedules. Okay? Right now, we're just going to leave the schedules to be auto-generated, just because it's just a lot going on right now. I'd rather get us all accustomed to the game before we start going in there and doing that. But eventually down the road, if we wanted to, I could say, okay, guys, 2 of your open weeks, 2 of the weeks that you get to pick, we're going to schedule it against each other. So that way our teams can go up and play each other if we wanted to. I'm not going to make that a requirement right now, but down the road, we can definitely make it a possibility. Because even in Madden, typically you might play 2 users a season. Unless you have somebody in your division, you may not even see anybody in the playoffs. So if we can at least schedule a game or 2 a season where we're facing another user, hey, that'd be cool, but it's not something we have to do right now. Okay? So the other thing that is there is you upgrade your coaching skills. So let's go to that real quick, like I talked about. So your coach, you have different things that you can build your coach on. Since we picked recruiter is already unlocked. Okay? Recruiter is already unlocked, but they have a strategist. Okay? You have, hold on. So the only way to unlock a strategist is you have to win 4 bowl games. It shows here at the bottom right, unlock requirements. Win 4 bowl games, spend 25 in tactician, and then spend 25 in recruiter. Unlock requirements for this, it just says tactician. Okay, I don't know what the unlock requirement is. I think I could actually just purchase this. So to be an architect, I will have to win 4 rivalry games, spend 25 in motivator, and spend 25 in tactician. Okay, motivator is the same thing. I think I could literally just purchase this if I wanted to, if I had enough coins. Okay, and you get coins throughout the season on how you do. Okay, it's like your XP. Like players get XP, your coach gets XP. Talent developer. You have to have 2 players drafted in the first round. You have to spend 25 in motivator, 25 in recruiter. Then these are the bigger ones. Program builder. Win 5 playoff games, spend 75 in any tree. And then you have the CEO. Win 2 national championships, spend 100 in any tree. Okay? So these are all locked right now. So there's nothing I can do about them. Okay? I can go in there and show you what they do. Okay? So like this one right here, it has 4 levels to it. So every time I put coins into it, it unlocks the first level, it unlocks the second level, the third level, and the fourth level. So every time you see these symbols, it's always quarterback is the football being thrown, running back is the foot on the ground, wide receiver and tight end are the web for catching, O lineman is the tractor, field goal post are your kickers and punters, no fly zone symbol is secondary, the knights, like the knight helmet, is linebackers, and then the bull is your defensive line. So every section has 4 levels. And it shows you on tier 1, you get boost to complimentary visits for quarterbacks, which happens in recruiting. Visits in tier 2. Visits have a bigger impact on quarterback prospects. Okay? Tier 3. Bonus interest for every visit a QB has taken before visiting you. Tier 4. Increased chance to learn dev trait of QBs on visits. Okay? These are all things that pretty much affect your recruiting. Okay, so when you schedule a visit for your recruit, the strategist benefits you a lot if you have that. But once again, it takes a lot of XP to get to where we're unlocking things and getting to this level. We may not even get to all of these within the first 10 to 15 years. I mean, we're on year 4, and I only have one. I have this one and motivator unlocked, and I think I have program builder because I won 5 playoff games. But let's go to where I am right now. So I have recruiter. So once again, every level has 4. I can't do these until I have 2 top 5 recruiting classes, and I spend 50 in recruiter. Okay? So, first level, quarterbacks take less time to fully scout. Well, I'll show you what that's like when we scout. Recruiting actions have bigger impacts on quarterbacks. So my actions that I do to the quarterbacks, whether I call their friends and family, whether I send the house, whether I send them a DM, like a message, whether I just check their social media, it has a bigger impact on the kids on if they want to come to my school. Tier 3, I increased my weekly recruiting hours for quarterbacks. So everybody gets 50 recruiting hours per player. But as you level up your tiers, like for quarterbacks, once I get to tier 3, I'll unlock 15 more points. So I can put 65 points into my quarterbacks, which is a big help. If somebody's putting 50 and I'm putting 65, I get a little bit more leverage toward that player. And then tier 4, increased starting interest from quarterbacks. Well, I'll show you in a second. At the beginning of the season, the recruits have top 10s already in place. They're already interested in certain schools. So by getting to tier 4, you're going to be increasing that position's starting interest in you. Now, that's not to mean, every quarterback's going to have you number 1 on their board, but some quarterbacks might have you number 4, number 5. I mean, some quarterbacks still may not have you on there because your school sucks, but you may have some better chances at landing some people. Okay? So, let's just say I want to do this one right here. You hold down X, you click it, you hold down X, and it says, okay, quarterbacks take less time to fully scout. I just unlocked that. Now the points that I had up in the top right, they're gone. I don't have any more points. I've got to back out. Okay? Your offense and defensive coordinator. You cannot change these guys until the offseason. You can fire them. But you can't do anything with them until the end of the offseason. And then you can fire them and hire new people, but it's not a guarantee they're going to be any better. But what they do, is, look at this guy right here. He's a recruiter. Well, he already has these positions unlocked. So if he has these, I get to benefit from these already. I get to benefit from this guy being an elite recruiter. And so if I do anything, all my stuff will stack on top of his. Okay? So everything I get stacks on top of my recruiters. So this guy is a master motivator. Okay, so I'm getting all these benefits because he's my coordinator. Now, if I went through and I put 2 on this guy as well, it's just going to stack. All right? So just understand your coordinators play a role in helping you as well. You can't do anything with them, like you can't edit them, you can't change their abilities and stuff like that. At least I haven't seen that. I think I don't know if I can actually change that or not. I don't think I can spend money on them. I'd have to look into it more, but I haven't done it yet. But it's something we could figure out. So that's coaching upgrades. So you'll constantly see as we go through the season that you'll gain points, you'll gain coins that you can spend to unlock certain things on your coach. Okay, now here we go. We're going to set up our recruiting board at the beginning of the season. Okay, the first section is your prospects. This is where anybody that you're currently recruiting, you can have 35 targets. Up at the top right, you'll see it says 0 of 35 targets. You can have 35 targets on your board at once. That's it. Okay? You have my school during this first week. You always have more hours during this first week. I have 500 hours that I get to spend. And you'll look further, I have 35 scholarships I can offer. Now, I'll show you what that means. So I'm going to come over here to prospect list. And I understand this is a lot of stuff, guys, but I promise you as you go through it and you slowly start doing it yourself, watch some videos, you're going to kind of get yourself familiar with it. And it's not, sorry about that, but you're going to get yourself a little bit more. Hold on. You're going to get yourself more, like, sorry about that, my dog's barking. But you're going to get yourself more accustomed to the game. You're going to know how this goes. So right now, I'm at recommended. Okay, so as soon as I come over from recruiting board, the first section that's going to pop up, as you see on the right, it says recommended. These guys, they're recommending me to go after. Okay, well, the first thing I want to do is I'm going to change this interest. I'm going to filter it by pressing square because I want to see who are my top guys, like who's interested in me the most. Okay, well, I've got a 3-star, a couple 3-stars, a 2-star, some 1-stars. But do I have anybody I'm looking for anybody that's a 4 or 5 that's interested in me already. These 3-stars, I'm not worried about them. They'll be there later. But are the 4 or 5 stars, do I have anybody that's like, looks like they could possibly help me? So right now, it's not looking good for UTEP. Okay, it'll show you all the way to the top 10. Okay, and right now, guys, UTEP, we don't have anybody interested in us at all. Okay, not worth putting money, putting hours into right now. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go all the way back. I'm going to change it. So I'm going to go to. I want to see the top prospects in the league or in the high school world. Well, you'll notice that these guys are grayed out. I can't even touch them. You'll see on the corner they have something called a deal breaker. Every person has a deal breaker. Well, he wants to be a part of a championship contender. Well, my championship contender level is a C-. Well, he needs the school that he's going to at least be a B-. So that automatically means I can't talk to him. He's just going to look at me if I try to talk to him and say no. So I can't even make him an offer. This guy is pro potential. He wants to be pro. But if you come to UTEP, I have a D+. He needs at least a B-. This guy has coach prestige. He wants to play for a coach that has more prestige than what I offer. This guy wants to be closer to home. Well, I'm in Texas and he's in Ohio. That's a need for him. But here's the first guy I can offer. He's in Texas. His deal breaker is proximity to home. I have that. Okay. So I'm going to add him to my board. I press X and put a little target symbol next to him on the left. Well, now if I come over to my recruiting board, here's my first target. As you can see, He's a 4-star athlete. He's not a bad looking kid. But how do I know more about him? Sorry. So I'll come down here. So the first thing you see when you click on him, you click X, the first thing you see is the overview. Who are the top schools? Who's his top 10 schools? Okay, well, TCU, A&M, Oklahoma State, LSU, all the big boys. All the big boys are who he's looking for. That doesn't mean you don't have a chance with this guy. Okay? That doesn't mean you don't have a chance. So, I'm going to come over here. Well, the only action I can do this week is I can offer him a scholarship. Okay? Well, I'm not really ready to offer him a scholarship yet. Even if I did offer a scholarship to him right now, I could take it back. But let me go look at his scouting. Okay? So, to scout a player, it takes 10 hours. So, let's say I scout him. Alright. So, it looks like he's a quarterback. Because look at his throw power. His throw power looks like it's high. His speed looks like it's kind of going to be high. So, how you can tell that is, imagine that bar right under throw power. All the way to the left is 0. All the way to the right is 100. Well, right now it's saying that yellow is where his throwing power is. So it could be anywhere from, it looks like it could be anywhere from maybe 80 to 100 right now. And the same thing with his speed. His speed looks like it's high up there too. Like, it looks like he's probably going to have at least 80 speed. Well, I want to know a little bit more. So I press X. Boom. His throw power is 91. Well, he's got 91 speed. That's a nice looking quarterback. So now I press X again because I want to fully scout this guy. Okay, cool. Now I have everything. Okay, I don't get his development trait at the bottom right, so I don't know if he's like a superstar or he's quick development or if he's slow. But I get to see some of his abilities and his mentals, like how does he think, like how does he his composure and stuff like that in the game. Those are all things. Okay, so I don't know if I can select this. I can't. But if you wanted to, you could go and look up online, and I could send a link to where you can see all the different abilities that players have, that they could have, and all the mentals they could have, so you can get a better understanding of what those are. Especially because we're not playing it, we're really probably going to depend a lot on these things to know if a player's worth it or not. But you notice that I didn't get everything. Okay, there might have been some other things that I didn't get, but I just didn't get everything. Yeah. So, I'm going to go ahead and offer this guy a scholarship. Okay, I offered him a scholarship. Now this popped up. Now that he has a scholarship, it's now showing me, okay, I can search his social media, I could DM him, I could contact his friends and family, I could send the house, alright? But right now, since it's the first week, we don't get to do any of that. All we get to do this first week at the preseason is scout and offer a scholarship. That's all we get to do. So, I've done that. Well, let's just say this guy isn't, I made a mistake, I don't like him, I shouldn't have offered him a scholarship. So what I'll do is I'll come over here and I can press triangle and hold it. If I press triangle and hold it, it removes him from my recruiting board and it takes my scholarship back. Because I essentially withdrew my scholarship from him. So I'm going to come back over here. Top prospects. Scroll down a little bit. Here's another athlete that I'm looking at. I want to look at that guy. I'm really looking at a couple top 5 players. My first week of doing this, I'm taking my chances on some of the big guys. I'm taking my chances on some of the big guys to see could I possibly land one of these guys if I start early enough. So I'm just grabbing a few people that I see that a lot of them have deal breakers. So anything's better than what I have at UTEP. So I don't even care right now of what state they're in or anything. I'm just like, hey, anything's better than what I have at UTEP. So I'm just grabbing a few right now. And I'm going to stop right here at this right tackle. Okay. So, right now I have 15 targets on my board. And I'm going to go ahead. Well, for some reason I added this guy. We have a deal breaker, so I'm going to take him off. All right. So, I've added these guys. Now I'm going to kind of go through them. And I'm going to see, are they worth keeping on my board or not? Okay. This guy looks like he's a running back. His carrying is an 83. So athletes, you don't really know what you have until you start scouting them. They could be linebackers, they could be corners, they could be receivers, quarterbacks, okay? They could be running backs. Okay, 94 speed, 94 acceleration. He's a pretty solid running back, all right? I'm going to offer him a scholarship, and there we go. I'm going to wait to see what happens next week, see if I move up his board at all. All right, we got a left end. All right, he is a gem. A gem means he is a badass player, okay? He is a good player. If you get a gem, that means, like, let's say you get a 4-star and he's a gem. That means most likely he's a 5-star talent, okay? If you get a 3-star and he's a gem, most likely he's a 4-star talent, okay? Imagine, think of it that way. But let's say you get a 5-star gem. He's going to be good. Okay, and as you can see, 85 power moves, 84 tackle, 85 speed at the defensive end. He's going to be good. So we're going to go ahead and offer him a scholarship. Come over here. We're going to look at this defensive tackle. All right, perfect example. He is not a gem. He is an X. He is a bust. So he's still a 5-star, though. So most likely, he's probably going to be a 4. Like, he'd probably be a 4-star, okay? Because look at him, 88 finesse move, 83 acceleration, 76 speed. For a defensive tackle, that's not bad. Strength 89. He's probably still better than anything I freaking have at UTEP. I'm still going to offer him a scholarship. Now, if I'm scouting a 3-star and he's a bust, I'm not offering him a scholarship. I'm just not. Okay, we're going to go ahead and go down the list a little bit more. All right. We got a tight end. And he's got, I mean, really, I don't even get to see his speed. His run blocking isn't great. I mean, his strength, I mean, pass blocking isn't very good. I'm probably going to let this guy walk. Like, I just don't see my need for him. I don't feel like he's a blocking tight end. It says up there his tendency. I don't want that guy. I just feel like I could do better. So I'm going to remove him. Now, I wasted my scouting points scouting him. I don't get those points back. But I didn't spend 5 points to offer him a scholarship either, so I saved 5 points. All right, middle linebacker. Looks like he's going to be pretty fast. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and offer him a scholarship. Okay. All right, we got a gem at right outside linebacker. 85 speed, okay. 82 pursuit, 88 acceleration. Not a bad looking kid. Go ahead and offer him something. So we got a strong safety here. Now, he has 87 speed at strong safety. That's not terrible. That's kind of average what you see at safety. But man, if you can get a 90 speed, that'd be better. But right now, I mean, if I go to my school, okay. I don't think I see it right here. I'd have to go to my actual roster. But if I go to my roster, I can probably tell you that I don't have anybody as good as this guy's going to be. So I'm going to go ahead and offer him a scholarship. Another tight end. He's a possession tight end. All right, he's got 87 agility, 82 acceleration, 80 catching. I mean, he's probably got 80 speed somewhere, I would assume, with 87 agility. So I'm going to go ahead and offer this guy a scholarship. I think he could probably help my team out. And I know you guys are thinking, Adam, you got 35 targets, but you only have 13 people listed. Guys, that 35 targets has to fill up the whole season for you. Right now, you only have so many points. Start with the big fish. The small fish will still be there. The small fish will still be there. Condense your points. Go after the people that will freaking flip your program and work these guys first. Work these guys first. So, check out this left tackle. Alright, he's a bust. But he's got 83 pass blocking power. His 84 pass blocking. His run blocking is only a 69. He's got ability called PA Shield, which I'm assuming is play action shield. I mean, he's still going to be better than what I got. I'm going to offer him a scholarship. Alright. I got a right tackle, but here I am. I only got 75. Oh, sorry, I pressed it back too many times. I only got 75 hours left, okay? And I've still got 4 or 5 guys I'd like to offer scholarships to, just because I really don't know what's going to happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and offer these guys scholarships, because they're 4 stars, so they're probably still going to be better than what I have. So let me offer them scholarships. And then I can go back and I just want to make sure the scholarships are offered. And then I'll go back and scout with whatever I have left. And really, if I'm going to scout, I want to see what this quarterback looks like. So 92 throw power, 82 speed. That's not a bad quarterback. 84 short, 80 medium. 83 break sack. It's not a bad quarterback. Like he could help me. Let's see if this wide receiver is any good. So I ran out of points, but I do know he looks like he's fast. His speed is kind of yellow all the way in the corner, so I know it's got to be 90 plus. Deep route looks like it's probably in the 70s. Agility's pretty freaking high. His catching looks like it's probably maybe in the 70s or the 80s. So yeah, I mean he'll probably be okay. So that's week 1. I've used all my points. There's nothing else I can do. This is where I'm at. So I could check my schedule. I'm not going to change it right now, but if I wanted to, I could. So week 1, I play Nebraska. Then I play FCS Midwest, which is kind of just one of those FCS schools that's garbage. It's kind of like should be an easy win for you. Then we have Colorado State. Then I get number 15, Tennessee. Okay, so conference games you can't change. You see how they're locked. But I do have weeks I can change. Like I could change my Tennessee game if I don't want to play them. I could change Colorado State. I could change Nebraska. Okay. What I might do here is I might change this game. Just because I want to see how I'd fare up against some teams. So, I might want to say, you know what? Let's see who's open. I guess there's not a lot of people open this week. Maybe I want to go to A&M and see if I can pull an upset against A&M. Okay, so I'm gonna put that there because I know I'll probably beat FCS Midwest. Liberty will be a tough game. All these games will be fairly tough for me. But I should be in them. I should get my ass whooped here, and then I should be in that game. Okay, so let's leave it at that. Save my changes, and we go to advance the week. So first week I have a bye. Most of us usually will have a bye unless we're playing week 1, but not a lot of people do play week 1. So what I need to do is I need to go check my recruiting. Let me see if any of those scholarships that I offered made a difference. Okay, so as you can see, the first thing I want to go do is, did I jump up anybody's board? Well, I didn't jump up this guy's board at all. I'm not on there yet. Not on his board. I didn't make his board yet. Didn't make his. Nope. 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 Well, we're hoping we made somebody's board, but it doesn't look like we did. Okay, so we haven't made anybody's board yet, but that doesn't mean we're out of it yet. So as I told you before, we had 500 hours that first week of off-season or preseason. Now we have what we're going to have every week. We have 400 hours. Well, the first thing that I do is I go to my big dogs and I go, okay, I've got 50 hours. You'll see right there in the top right, I get 50 hours to use per player. Once again, as I level up my recruiting, I'll be able to add more to it. Okay? Like I'm sure a team like Georgia or Alabama, they probably get like 75 hours per player or something like that. Okay? So I've got 50. So what I'm going to do is I get to search social media. It costs me 5 hours and it gives me a maximum influence of 1 green arrow. I could DM them for 10, which gives me 2. I could contact friends and family. That gives me 3, but it costs 25. Or I could send the house. That would give me 4. It's 50. That's the max thing I could do. That's pretty much, I'm going all in on him. Right now, we can't soft sell or hard sell or sway, but I'll show you that when we get to that. So I'm going to send the house. And what I do is I like to go and I like to send the house on as many players as I can. So here's an example. My recruiter, one of my offensive coordinators is a recruiting master or master recruiter. Well, look at that. I've got 10 extra points for defensive ends. So I get to add an extra 10 points to this guy. So that just gave me a little boost. Maybe I get to move up his board a little quicker. Right? This guy, same thing. He's a defensive tackle, so I get that same boost. So I'm going to go ahead and drop my extra 10 in there. Okay, so these are my active actions right now. If I ever want to take them off, I just hold down triangle. I get my 10 points back, and I can go put it somewhere else, but I'm going to keep it there. I got a middle linebacker, same thing. That my master recruiter, he was pretty much all defense. So he had all these defensive positions unlocked for me. Another linebacker that I get. Now you see my points are dwindling fast. Now it's getting to a point where it's like, damn, Adam, what do you want? Well, I know I need a good quarterback. So I'm going to try to put some points into a quarterback. This wide receiver didn't look terrible. He didn't look like he was going to be terrible. So I'm going to, I'm going to throw some points at him. Okay. And I have left, I have this safety, this tight end, and this right tackle, and these guards. I'm going to probably throw it at this. That safety wasn't very fast, but that tight end looked like he was going to be okay. I have 10 hours left up at the top, as you can see. I'm just going to throw a 10 on him. It's probably not going to do much, but I got to use those points. So I'm just going to use them there. So that's it. So now I've used all my hours because once again, I'm taking my shot at the big fish. I'm taking my shot at the big fish, and I want to see, do I even have a chance, or do I just need to like redirect? I don't know. You never know with this shit. I promise you. You will never know until you try. But this is my approach every time. I always go after the big fish, and as I'm slowly kicked out of the big fish pond, I go down to the little fish and I start playing with those guys. So all my points have been used. You'll see that I get an automatic check mark because all my points have been used. I have a bye week, so my thing's a check mark. So I go ahead and I'm going to advance next week. Okay, so the first thing it tells me, hey, you moved up to this guy's 7th interest. You moved up to his 2nd. You moved up to his 7th. These 2 guys blocked you out. You moved up to his 5th. So, okay, cool. I moved up. All right. So, as you can see, my recruiting's already checked off. That means all the points that I allocated are still there. All my points are still on the guys I wanted. So, I moved up to 7th on his. You can see the green arrow. I'm slowly moving up. I moved up to his 7th. I'm his 8th. I moved up to that guy's 2nd. I moved up to 7th. But I got locked out. These 2 guys got into their top 8. They locked me out. So what I got to do is I got to hold triangle, to get them off my board because I don't have a chance with them anymore. I moved up to his 7th. I moved up to his 5th. So I'm moving up. I'm moving up. So I'm going to leave everything as it is because I'm going the right way. I want to see how far I can go. I'm jumping up these lines, and especially with this guy right here, that's a fucking solid middle linebacker, a 4-star. If I could get him committed to UTEP, that'd be a freaking nice little piece. Okay? So, once again, all my points are already allocated. I don't really need to do anything unless I looked at it and go, okay, I'm 7th on this quarterback. I have Army, Louisville, Kansas State, Kansas, Arkansas, and Minnesota in front of me. There's just no way I'm going to catch them. There's no way I'm going to catch Minnesota. Minnesota's just going to keep pumping into them. They're a better program, you know. But I think I could compete with those 3. Now, if I was talking about this one, do I think I can compete with Texas and A&M and Colorado? I don't know. But we're still early. We're still in the top 8. I mean, if we're in the top 8, I feel like I'm still in the hunt. Now, if we get into the top 5, then I might be looking at this a little bit differently. But what you look at, guys, at the top, you'll notice how, like right here, Washington's at the top of his board, and that meter's slowly going across. But at the end of that meter, it says top 8. Well, once Washington, whoever's at the top, gets all the way to the end of that meter, it flips to his top 5. Or, I'm sorry, it flips to his top 8. Well, then you'll see that this guy, he's already at his top 8. So once that meter goes all the way over to the top, then he's narrowed it down to his top 5. And then once they get past their top 5, then it narrows down to their top 3, and then it says commit. So whoever can get to that bar at the end, they get the commit. Okay? So that's how that works in regards to that. But once again, all my points have been allocated. So now it's essentially I get to watch my game for the week. Okay, but before I watch my game, I want to come over here because I haven't played a game. I haven't played a game yet, but I want to come to my team and I want to do my red shirts because I got some freshmen that maybe I don't want them to play yet. I know this year's going to suck, and I'm like, man, they might be good for me. I've got a 65 quarterback. I mean, I don't care if I redshirt these guys. They're garbage. Like, I'm hoping my recruits come in are better. So I'm just gonna rock and redshirt them. Nothing really here that I want to redshirt. Nothing here I want to redshirt. That's a senior. I don't want to redshirt a senior. I might redshirt the 65 freshman just because my tight ends are so bad. I'll redshirt this guy because he'll never touch the field anyways. Same thing here. I'll probably redshirt him. Redshirt him. So here's another thing right here. I've got a 66 with 81 speed. I've got a senior and a junior. Well, the senior's going to play. I could have the junior be his backup, and I'll redshirt him. That way I have him next year, and he's still a freshman, and maybe he goes up a little bit. This guy's never going to touch the field anyways. A 65 DT, I'll take him. Can't do that. So if they've got the bars already boxed out, that means they've been redshirted already before. So we'll block that. Corners are pretty pathetic. Okay. So as you can see, that's really all I got. My team's not very great. I've got one right in that's an 86 overall, but besides that, we're not looking very good. So that's my redshirting. My redshirting's done. I can come over here to depth chart. Well, now I can set my depth chart. Who do I want to see on the field? I've got this sophomore who's a 74. I'm going to have a 74 sophomore start over these two guys. Like these, they're not the future. Halfback wise, I probably have this sophomore start. He looks like he's a little bit better. Looks like his ball carrier vision is a lot better than the other guy. He breaks tackles better. He trucks better. Both their stiff arms are garbage. Spin move is this guy's juke move's a little bit better, but he's a better catcher. I'm just gonna take this guy. He's also a sophomore, so gives me another year with him. So we'll move that there. Fullback. So I'm not going to tell you what you need to put at fullback because there's not a lot of, I mean, if you want to put a tight end at a fullback or a halfback at fullback, that's up to you. Like, I don't have a rule on that. I guess I'll talk to you guys more about it, but fullbacks are pretty hard to come across in recruiting, and mostly every team just uses a tight end. So I think tight end would be okay because I really don't want to see a 99 halfback as fullback, like 99 speed halfback at fullback. So I think if we could agree that tight end just stays as a fullback, I'm okay with that. Wide receiver, just looking at this, I mean, I'll probably have this sophomore start over that junior, but they're all slow. Like they're nothing I'm really worried about. Sophomore tight end, he'll start. Left tackle, once again, I talked to you in the text message. Left tackles, right tackles, you know, the game will already kind of try to put them in places they think will be better for you. So, I mean, if you're okay with what they have there, I mean, I'm okay with it right now because they're all garbage this first year. But we can't skip the first year because we have to do recruiting for the next year. It's not like in Madden where we skip the first year, then we just draft. You have to recruit during the first year. So once again, like I said, I just like to make sure like guards are at guards, tackles are at tackles. So right now, see, it has like my right end on my left end side. I don't know why it does that. I don't know if there's a reason it does it, and you can go back and change it. Like if I was doing this for real, I would change it just because I like left ends to be at left ends and right ends to be at right ends. I feel like there's a reason that they're called a left end and right end, but right here I'm okay with this. Like I'm just kind of going through it for the process for y'all. Okay, middle linebackers are good. That's fine. Right outside linebackers, I don't know why he's up there, but he's a freshman. That's fine. Corners are whatever. Free safety, strong safety, my kicker, my punter. Okay, so kick returners. I'll probably put somebody with a little bit more speed. Thought I had a safety that had like 94 speed a second ago. I guess he's not a kick returner. So I'll take this guy right here, this corner, and I'll put him up here just so I can have a little bit. Oh, well, I got a wide receiver. I'll put him up here. Just do it. So that's that. Okay, punt returner, that's fine. Kickoffs, that's fine. Long snapper, whatever. So then you have your third down running back. Okay, whatever you choose. But then you have what's called a power halfback. Okay, so that's another thing. I don't know what the difference is, guys. So it might be something that I need to look up, but I don't know what the difference is. I don't know when they're used. Slot receiver. Do you have a receiver that you want to be in the slot? They could be on your depth chart at 1 or 2, but if you want them to line up in the slot, you just have to put them there. So I could come over here and say, oh, I want this 68 receiver with 91 speed. I want him to be in the slot. I like that guy to be in the slot. Then you have right, I guess, I don't know what RLE stands for. I haven't figured that out yet, guys. But I'm assuming it's like, oh, sorry, I changed teams. I'm assuming it's like, I don't know, it's left end and right end, but I don't know what the R is. I don't know what the R stands for. So maybe that's something I need to look up too myself. And then RDT, I don't know what that means. Your sub linebacker, your slot corner. Who do you want your slot corner to be? And then back to your quarterback. So once again, there's some positions I still haven't played around with, guys, that I don't know like what the difference is between the halfbacks and the ends and stuff. But there's videos out there and there's Google. We can figure it out. So I'm done with that. My roster set, my depth chart set. Um, I can come here to my auto subs, and I could say, okay, how often do I want you to sub my quarterback in and out? Well, I don't want you to sub my quarterback out. Well, how often do I want you to sub my halfbacks in and out? My wide receivers, my O line. Okay, same thing with my defense. How often do I want you to sub those guys out? Okay, because they need a break. There's wear and tear in this game. You need depth at your bench. Like, this isn't like Madden where, oh, my starting receivers, I'm gonna have him play all game. If your starting receiver goes and he makes a big catch, he's probably gonna come off on the sideline for a play or two because he needs to get his stamina back up. So you need to keep it. You need to keep that in mind. Like, understand, like, they may not be out there every play, just like real life. They need a break. So just know. Okay, so that's done. Not gonna mess with that. Um, Obviously you have your stats and records, Dynasty Central, where you can set the sliders and everything, um, and then you run your game. I'm gonna stop right here tonight because it's late. I'm gonna try to get to bed, but tomorrow I'll pick it back up where I'm at. I'll probably run this game against Nebraska so you can watch the game, and then we'll move on into the next week, and we'll start pushing forward. But just text me if you have any questions or if you didn't understand anything. But that's pretty much all I got, man. I'll holler at y'all later.